More cards have been revealed since we last discussed Lorcana's new set, Rise of the Floodborn. Is there a card that can possibly top the overpowered Hidden Archer Bell? Let's find out. Welcome, Rebels, and today we have another laid-back video for you. We're just gonna jump right in with the newest cards. That's all that's kind of been shown off so far.
Bounce right in.
Bounce right in? Yeah. If you want to start us off.
Yeah, certainly. So, one of the first cards that we have is actually, one of the cool things about this new amount of cards that we have, where we're getting more commons and uncommons, which are the cards that you're going to pull tons of, and it'll be interesting to see which one of these, we can foresee people wanting to put in decks. The first one that we have to talk about is a Winnie the Pooh card. The artwork is featuring Tigger and Roo, and it's Bounce. It's an action. And
Emerald
ink, 2 cost, uninkable. I'm not a fan of uninkables always. But ready chosen character of yours to your hand, return it to your hand, and chosen character of the other players to their hand. So
the wording is weird on that one.
Yeah, I don't like how it says your character first and then you choose theirs.
It's like return chosen character of yours to your hand to return another chosen character to theirs first. Why not and? Yeah. Why not and return it,
Because the point is you have to return one to your hand in order for you to return one to the other player's hand. Where I can see this being a viable card is literally the name Bounce is a term used in a lot of TCG games. Yu-Gi-Oh! And etc., you have cards that do that. Bounce cards. They send cards right back to your hand. And so it's kind of funny that it's named Bounce and they did that with it.
Bouncy.
You would use it to heal up. You can use it defensively to heal your own characters. If you got a character you don't want to lose, giant tank or something, you don't want to lose her, so you bounce her back to your hand. Also,
you can use the ability again when you play it, because I know, like, the Maleficent one, I love having that card, like, returning it back to my hand for the Amethyst Maleficent, because then I can just play it again for 3 cost, draw another card. It's like...
Very true. Yeah.
Why not?
So definitely, it's an uncommon, and I think it's definitely a feasible card that we'll see probably played in some decks.
Yeah, up next, we have a Floodborn character card. This is Cogsworth Grandfather Clock. It's an old Cogsworth. Cost 5, inkable. We like inkable here. 5 willpower, 2 strength. And he has the ward ability, which means characters can't choose and accept a challenge. And he also has a great ability here, resist +1.
No, so he doesn't have it.
That's right.
Characters in it.
I kind of got a little ahead of myself there. What I was thinking is, just play this card, never challenge or never exert him at all, and your other characters get resist +1 and they can't, target him with damage because he has ward.
Yeah, no, this card is...
That's good.
This card is a great card, in all honesty. It's inkable, 5 cost with a shift 3, and we know, we'll get to it in a minute, the other Cogsworth we know is 2 cost. So by turn 3, you've got this guy out, and he's protecting your characters big time.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, sure, he gets lore too, which is nice if you want to quest, but I don't know, like me just looking at this and be like, I put that guy out and I never quest him because he's just out there for the entire game.
To be completely honest, this card makes me excited about Sapphire. I already currently play a little bit of Sapphire here and there, but I'm pretty excited about Sapphire with this.
My main colors are Sapphire and Steel, so it's like, yeah, all your characters have resist +1 as long as you pull it. Because you can't even, they can't choose it to banish it, they can't choose it to exert it or anything, so you can challenge it. It's like, yeah, because you can't, because he's warded, you can't even make him reckless or anything through other abilities. It's just, yeah, good.
Yeah, and so to move on to the littler one, it's Cogsworth Talking Clock. He's 2, still inkable.
Sapphire as well.
Great card that he's still inkable. 2 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore is what he gains you. His ability is your characters with reckless gain the ability to exert and gain a lore. So basically they gain the ability to quest for 1. Reckless characters can't quest.
Yeah.
So this gives you the ability to make your reckless character's quest, which, again, extremely cool. And then you can shift into the big grandfather. These two Cogsworth cards are really excellent to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think they're better than the Bell? No. But they are definitely cards that are going to be used. People are going to play these cards.
Yeah. This already has me worried a little bit about power creep, because that was the one thing I was worried about with new sets, where it's just like, oh, you have to get these new cards because they're way better. And, you know, what we've gone through so far, except for that bounce card, really, really good. A bounce card's not bad, but I don't know, I don't see myself using that one ever. Up next here, we have Dinner Bell. Now, this card is from Great Mouse Detective, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I was going to say, it just looked like Radigan's hand, so I was like, it might be him. But it's an item card from the Ruby deck. Cost 4, uninkable. But it has an ability called You Know What Happens, where if you exert it and pay 2 ink, you can draw cards equal to the damage on chosen character of yours, then banish them. So that seems like an interesting one, because it's like, if they're almost dead, and you don't have really healing cards in the deck, maybe it might be useful to just be like, alright, let me just banish them so I can draw like 5 cards. Like, I'm thinking, I don't know, still, even like banishing Giant Tinkerbell is not a good thing. But they're like the Maui. Think of like the 8 and 8 Maui, where if he has 7 damage and you just know that someone's gonna, you know, just get rid of him the next turn, why not draw 7 cards and give...
The only other things I could see is Grandma Tala. You would want to banish her. Because people don't...
Well, no, but she'll have no damage, though.
Right, but...
You wouldn't get
she's
anything...
and you're right, yeah, so you wouldn't want...
It has to be characters that are damaged.
True, so I don't...
The uninkable makes it.
When I read this one, and it being uninkable, when I read this one, I don't foresee this one getting a lot of play.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, maybe I'll have one in my deck, because it might be good. Because, like, especially in, like, Ruby decks, like the Monstrous Dragon Maleficent, you know... Once you play her, that's her ability. You don't get, like, that ability every single turn, so if she's almost dead, why not if you can draw a bunch of cards? But, like, it seems like that. Like, if you're going to have it in your deck, maybe one of it. That's it.
So now, a card that we saw already, but we didn't go into depth in it in our previous video on the cards that were released on the set. Elsa Gloves Off. It's an Amethyst card. It does have a second artwork coming in the 100th anniversary collection set, which is where we slightly previewed it before.
Yeah, no horse in that one, though.
No. The gloves are off in that one, and this one's gloves are off as well.
Her gloves are off, but the first thing I look at is the giant horse.
Giant horse, yeah. 4 cost, inkable. That's solid. 3 strength, 4 willpower, and it's a challenger plus 3 is what she is. She only quests for 1 lore. To me, this is a card that you use to attack, is what it all is. It's got the challenger plus 3. It can hit for 6. That means it can kill a lot of things. 4 willpower. Okay, you're probably only going to hit a couple things unless you're healing her. But
it's good for hitting like if you have like that Moana out there, like the Moana that only deals 1 damage but has 6 health. It's like boom, you can kill that and you don't have to worry too much about damage. So I see this as hitting. It's going to be good against cards like that where they have a ton of willpower but they don't hit hard, but that's why they have a ton of willpower. So this can take care of that. I mean, that's kind of the case for a lot of the challenger ones, the higher up ones like Simba. But you know, now we have one card like that that's in the Amethyst deck instead of Steel.
Yep.
It's just good variety. So it's a good card that gives good variety. It's a common card, so you know there's going to be a lot of it. Another common that's coming is Confident Vagabond Flynn Rider. This card is Emerald. It looks almost identical to the other Flynn Rider card there is.
I actually had to look to
like the artwork.
The differences even were, but
like the artwork, it's just a worse worse version of that Flynn Rider, because I mean this one's only 1 cost and he's 1 in 3, so you could say this is kind of like the standard stock you'd have of just character cards in your hand, like an Olaf. You know, I feel like, you know, the Olaf from the first chapter is good to have for having a character that's just hard to kill and can stay up there. So it seems he's just going to fill the same role. Nothing exciting about him, but I mean, hey, you have to have in set 2 cards that fill those basic roles.
It's inkable.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. It'll see some play because it's inkable, but it's this is one of those cards that,
It's a 1-cost character card that you throw out there on turn 1.
and it's a common. It's one of those cards you're gonna end up having, probably if you pick up packs of it, you're gonna end up having like a dozen of these cards laying around, and you might be throwing them in a deck, but not that often.
Mm-hmm.
So the next card we see is another Winnie the Pooh card. And this one is also an action. This time, 1-cost inkable amethyst called I'm Stuck. Winnie the Pooh is stuck in Rabbit's Hole.
Classic.
And all this one does is chosen exerted character can't ready at the start of their next turn. So we already have lots of cards that do this exact thing. So
It's cost 1 though.
it's 1 cost. That's the benefit to this one.
Yeah.
It's 1 cost and it's inkable.
Yeah.
You'll play it, you'll throw it in your deck because it's cheap version of Elsa.
Yeah. And it's like you can use that to kind of like stop the character from doing some stuff, which is nice.
You can use that to get them stuck.
Yeah, that's true. Up next is an artwork that we actually saw on the cover of one of these starter decks. We kind of mentioned that, but we didn't have the card information. Now we do. It is Shapeshifter Merlin, cost 4, inkable, only 1 strength but 5 willpower. His ability, Battle of Wits, is whenever one of your other characters is returned to your hand from play, this character gets +1 lore this turn, which is, it's going to be a good combo card, especially if you have like you play a lot of what's that Dr. Facilier, and what's the other amethyst card that allows you to return a card?
How about the emerald card we talked about a minute ago, Bounce?
Oh, Emerald, yeah.
Bounce.
So if you're doing amethyst and emerald, yeah.
I like this ability. I like that he's 4 cost and inkable, and I like that he has 5 willpower.
Yeah.
He will be used. There will be people playing him, and the fact that he's one of those cards that can essentially have infinite amount of lore, just like first chapter's Tomateo.
Tamatoa.
Yeah, that's it. I can never say him.
Tomato.
Yeah, just like the crab, the shiny boy.
My favorite song in that movie.
That
movie's full of some bangers.
The unlimited amount of lore is what makes that an interesting card. So the next card is another one of those that we've seen in the 100th collection set. Mickey Mouse Friendly Face. He is 3 lore. I just want to throw that out to start with, because any cards that are 3 lore and above, are going to be in decks because of the fact that it's hard to get that much lore in one go. He is 6 cost and inkable. 1 strength, 6 willpower. And whenever this character quests, you pay 3 less ink for the next character you play this turn.
So it's like a stronger version of like that LeFou Amber card, because that's like, it's cost 2, and it's just you pay 1 less, so you just times everything by 3 essentially.
Absolutely. This card is strong. This card is reaching levels of the bell, but it's not quite there.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's still going to be a good card, but it's going to be one of those cards where as soon as you play it, it's going to get targeted.
Absolutely. But with 6 willpower, they better have something strong out that can take it out, or they're going to have to use, Dragon Breath. Or...
It is cost 6, so you're going to have 6 ink to get it out in the first place, too.
True. But you can also throw it in the inkwell if you get it early game.
Yeah. Our next card we have is we saw the artwork for it. It was kind of like the forefront of the announcement, but this is for Raya, Warrior of Comendia.
Landra, I think, is what that one is.
Okay, it's I'm just bad at pronouncing words like that. If I don't know them, especially because I think, as we talked about last time, neither of us have seen this movie, so I'm sure it's like the name of the land she's from. They say it 500 times in the movie. I should finish it eventually. But 4 cost, inkable, 5 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore. She seems like a standard Ruby card of just, you get her out there, she hits hard. It's kind of like she doesn't have the ability of like letting your hair down Rapunzel, but she's actually inkable, which makes her like really good. Whereas like, I feel like it's mainly in Ruby where you have cards where their strength really like outnumbers their their willpower, and this is just going to be like a basic card like that.
Yeah, I mean, people that really like Raya and the Last Dragon will probably play this card. It's not a bad card by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also not a special card. You're not going to be throwing it in your deck for a big power play. It's a card that's nice to have if you like it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be like a foil starter deck card too.
Right, so we have seen it on.
Yeah.
So the next card we're talking about is a steal, and this one is The Prince Never Gives Up. Now, it's 3 cost, inkable, which is nice. 1 strength, 3 willpower, lore is 2, bodyguard, and resist +1. So you might as well consider it's willpower 4.
Or 4 or more, depending, because like every time, like if 2 people challenge, that's +2 health technically then.
Yep. So it's just, this is a better form of that Amber Simba that we see get a lot of points.
Yeah, but that Amber Simba's only cost 2, right?
Yep. So it's a little bit more of a cost, but that Amber Simba, I believe, is 1 lore.
Yeah.
So,
and no resist.
This card, you're going to want to get it out.
Steel, too. So it kind of fits in with the steel deck's whole idea of just like, just tanking.
Yeah, you're going to want to play it. You're going to want to get it out. You're going to want to quest with him to get that 2 lore, because then also he's bodyguarding and he's resisting. I think it's a good, solid card.
Yep, pretty good card. The next one we're going to talk about is the Sorcerer's Spellbook. Now, what movie is this from? Is this like Fantasia?
You got me. It does look like Fantasia. The artwork does.
Yeah, kind of hard to tell right off the bat, because it's also from, it kind of fits in with Amethyst, the whole idea of like, I feel like the Amethyst deck is like the big sorcerer.
The magical stuff
deck. So it's an item, and the ability knowledge is when you exert it and pay 1 ink, you just gain 1 lore. So it's very similar to it's cost 3 and uninkable. I was going to say it's similar to the Eyes of the Fate card in the Sapphire deck, but that one's cost 4, is inkable, and that one you don't have to pay ink, and it gives another character +1 lore, so whenever they quest.
This one's better. This card,
even though it's uninkable,
I think is better, because how many cards right now are out there that can break an item, other than Beast and break itself?
Yeah, they're all in...
you can't be prepared away items.
So, Eyes of the Fate is an item as well.
Right. Well, Eyes of the Fate has to have a character on the board, which you can kill characters. It's harder to get rid of items. And you can't get rid of ink so far that we know of. So, if you pair this with, if you go Amethyst Sapphire and you do Mana Ramp, and you're using Gravitalas and Detective Mickeys and 1-jumps, and you're just filling your ink pool and you get this out early enough, you're gaining a lore every turn without even characters out there. Plus, they can't target you for a kill.
Yeah, I think they equal each other out in the fact that this one's uninkable, whereas Eyes of the Fate is, and then, this one costs an ink, Eyes of the Fate doesn't. So, they're equal in my mind. This one does also have the benefit of, you just gain a lore, so maybe slightly better, but I don't think it's too broken, because it's just 1 lore as well.
Yeah, I agree with you that I don't think it's too broken, but I do think it's I think it's a very good card. I'm looking forward to this card, and I will put 4 of them in my Amethyst deck. I can tell you that. Last card we have is from Hercules, Zero to Hero.
Zero to Hero.
And just so this is the song.
Best song.
And it's 2 cost, not inkable. You can play it, obviously, with a character that's cost 2 or more, they can sing it for free. And then you count the number of characters you have in play, and then you pay that amount of ink less for the next character you play this turn.
Pretty good card.
Yeah, it's a good card. It's
another song to put in Amber's.
Another song, and the fact that it's 2 cost and uninkable is fine.
Yeah.
Uninkable cards that are 1 and 2 cost to me are perfectly fine, because you don't have to worry about them clogging your hand. You'll get them out early.
Yeah, especially with actions and stuff like that. It's when they're higher cost and characters, sometimes it's just ugh.
Right.
With this one, it's you can hold on to it till you have at least 2 characters, because it's especially with Amber decks, it's all about getting so many characters out there. So just imagine a Rockstar Stitch where you just have 10 characters out in front of you because of that, and then it's just be like, all right, and now I can play another, I can play my Hades for free because I have 8 characters out in front of me. My King of Olympus Hades.
Right.
And, all right, and now a bunch of these characters I've had are also villains, so he quests for like 6, so stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I definitely think this card is meant to be paired with that Hades card, to be completely honest with you. We'll see how many villains we get in the upcoming set that will make that Hades card maybe more viable.
I was going to say that's the one thing. Amber doesn't have a lot of villains in it, so you have to pair it with Amethyst has a decent amount of villains. So if you do Amber, Amethyst, you're getting a good mix. I think Steel does as well, because I know some people do the Amber Steel.
Steel has so many Captain Hooks.
Yeah, true. So it's like, as long as you pair it up well and you get the villain, I can see a good combo there. But just in general, it's just a good card because, I mean, hey, say you have a card that's worth 3 and you just want to get it out there. You can just have someone, sing for 2, play the card, and then you can play a 3 if you have 3 characters out. It's utility. The only time I'm going to see it kind of problematic is it's like, oh god, all I have is songs and items in my hand, and I have no characters.
True.
And you can't ink it. It all depends. But it's one that I definitely would have at least 1 or 2 of, just because of the uninkable factor. I don't know if I'd go above that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how, like I said, I'm interested to see the Amber set come out because currently I don't play a lot of Amber myself, but Hades is one of my favorite characters in all of Disney lore, so I would really like to use that Hades to build a villain deck, so I do think this makes that deck possibly more viable, especially if we get some villains.
Mm-hmm. That's all the new information we have to discuss for Rise of the Floodborn. If you're looking for more videos on Lorcana, check out the playlist or video here. If you got any more predictions, we didn't really talk about any today. We did on our last video, but based off what you saw here today, just throw in cards that you'd want to see. Maybe ones that would pair up with these well or not. Just let us know, and until next time, have fun and game on.